Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode on Rewired Radio. I'm your host, DJ Drew.
And I'm Coral, your favorite event planner.
And today's guest is one of the finest luxury wedding planners and designers. She'll make you the perfect wedding bouquet and florals. And if you don't believe me, just ask Coral. So if you're planning a matrimony, want the perfect ceremony, she's the one and only. Give it up for Ione Martinez.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
That was really cute. I liked
awesome.
it.
Like that?
Yes.
Special
You're a
introduction
poet.
just for you.
You are a poet.
I'm just an MC with bars, that's all.
And a
Just an
poet,
MC with
don't
bars.
lie.
Yeah.
So Ione, can you introduce yourself to our audience out there?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ione, and I am the owner and lead planner and floral designer at my company, Haus and Company.
Awesome. Well, it is a pleasure to have you with us today. We've got a few things to talk about, such as certain wedding traditions. Are they in? Are they out? We're also going to give you guys and gals out there a few quick tips on how to make an average wedding look fabulous and some fun ideas to make your cocktail hour a little more entertaining. But first, Ione, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you
Yeah.
too.
I love having other wedding planners on the show just because, one, I feel like I learned so much, but then also being a bride, just hearing what we're going to be talking about, I feel like I should be taking notes today.
I know, right?
I want to turn my cocktail hour into something really
Oh,
fun.
I got some
and
tips.
special.
I
Can't
got
wait.
some tips.
And we got
We're
some
gonna-
wine. We're ready to,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Well, we're going to have a little bit of a fun conversation today. But first, I wanted to just say that you are by far one of the coolest, most down-to-earth wedding planners
Oh
I've
my
ever had the
gosh.
pleasure of working with. We actually just did a wedding just a little over a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wanted to show a little bit of what Ione and I put together for this wedding. If we can roll that clip, Solomon, please.
Oh, I'm excited.
Hey.
So I actually really love this. This was a private first dance that the bride and groom did prior
Aw.
to the wedding, which I actually really like.
Yeah, it was nice because what I like to do generally with my couples, I don't know if you do this too, but like do a private grand reveal before everyone comes in, like in an empty room. So it was nice for them to kind of share that moment, just the two
Yeah.
of them. And it was really special because they did have a first dance.
Yeah, look at this
Just
girl.
on their
She
own.
was turning everybody up.
Oh,
I know.
She is
she's
fist
wild.
pumping.
She had
She's
some
running into
wine.
the crowd. I need to hire her to be my hype woman.
She's a hype woman for
Just
sure.
stand behind your DJ set.
Yeah.
She'll be great.
Yeah, just
Look
turn
at
people
her.
up like that.
Yeah. Oh, this looked like such a fun event.
It was. I had so much fun at
It
this.
was a good one.
I
it
was
was a
really
good
getting
one.
into it.
And look at everyone's like up and dancing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's hard to get that
No,
sometimes.
they had a fun
Yeah.
crowd. They had a fun crowd. I loved it. That was a fun
Oh,
wedding.
how fun is that? Well, you could just tell by watching these videos what goes into it.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't know all the behind the scenes
All the
of wedding
details.
planning.
So many.
So many details. And with all those details comes stress, obviously.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's crazy looking from a wedding planner's point of view and just watching this awesome event. But then now I got to turn it back a little bit because
You're on the other
in-
side of it.
I'm on the other
Ah.
side of it in about 2 months, which is
Yeah.
just crazy to me. So, obviously, to me and anyone watching, what are some tips to help this stress? Because I just know I'm going to be a hot mess. Even though I planned this for a year and a half now, for some reason on the day, I'm just going to be blank and just
Yeah, I know.
not going to know what to
Well, you know, you should blank. You should be blank and blank out. I mean,
do. Yeah.
hopefully you have a wedding coordinator.
I do have a day
Okay.
of wedding coordinator, which is great.
Good.
And I trust her. So
Good.
I'm super stoked for that. But just
And-
knowing me, I'm going to try to like see from the outside, like, you know what I mean? And I know it's not going to be perfect, but I would like it to go perfect. So if there's anything
Yes.
I can do to reduce that stress other than drink a bunch of wine, then I'll be
Totally.
excited.
Step 1, drink the wine.
Okay.
Step
She said to
2,
drink the wine.
I
Yeah.
did.
Take the edge off.
Take the edge off.
And so you've got your wedding coordinator that you're
Yes.
comfortable with.
Yes.
And I actually have worked with other brides that are wedding coordinators.
oh,
So
okay.
it's important to, you know, let go and trust that other person.
Let go.
Right? Just let go. I mean, you have so much experience with
Yeah.
what it takes to pull off an amazing wedding. I would just suggest like getting it done a week early. You probably tell the same things to your brides and
I do.
like just pass off the baton to your coordinator the week of. That way you won't have to worry about you know, giving them those little details and like all your personal decor and stuff. Handle that early.
Yeah.
Anything DIY, take care of it like
Not the day of.
not the day of. And if you have the luxury of taking a week off with your fiance, I would like say just to take that time and soak each other's presents in and you know,
Totally.
yeah.
I mean, I will definitely be taking the time off.
Yeah.
He will probably be working, and because I think I need some alone time.
I think you're right.
Personal time, massages, facials,
And you should have a spa day, get your nails
Totally.
done with your girls.
Yeah. And do you recommend that to your brides? Because obviously a
do.
lot of them aren't wedding coordinators and they don't know. Some plan their own wedding, which is great.
Yeah.
But a lot of them really don't know what it takes on the day of behind the
Yes.
scenes. So do you just tell them the week
Yeah.
before just to be
I
relaxed?
always
and-
tell them finish everything you need to do a week before your wedding. So the week of, you are not worried about anything.
Yeah.
You should just relax, you know, pass off the baton and
So relax,
Yeah.
pass off
And
baton, and wine.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
a lot of wine.
Wine is
A lot of wine.
The secret to stress-free
I
weddings.
know.
Yeah.
I think I'm more
Seriously.
of a champagne girl,
Oh,
like
yeah.
day of. Yeah, that will be fine.
Yeah,
And then later will
champagne.
be wine.
Yeah.
Maybe some shots. Just kidding. No shots.
Why not all three?
Oh, all three at
It's
once.
your
That would
wedding.
be great. Yeah. John will really like that.
So those are some really good tips just to help them ease that tension,
Yeah.
you know, take the stress off. And you mentioned even take a week off.
Take a week off
Yeah.
if you can. Like
Totally.
if you can.
If I can. I'm going to. I already put it in my
Good.
schedule.
Yeah, like I always suggest 6 months before wedding, ask, you know, whoever you're working for, or if you work for yourself, like
Yeah.
kind of make the time for it. It's really important.
It's really important.
Because
Definitely.
it goes by so fast. You know how fast
Yes.
the days go. So.
And
Oh, yeah.
being there on the day of, as the wedding planner, not necessarily the bride, I know myself, there is obviously a lot of stress that comes to it, but it's different type of stress than what you're
I mean,
experiencing
you
as a
take
bride.
on that stress for the bride.
And that's what we're there for. We're prepared
Yes.
for it.
Mhm.
We kind of like the stress because we can handle it.
Mhm.
But something about, I don't know, being there the day of, the thing that makes me the most stressed is the guests when they're late. I don't know why, because you can't control that. That's not something that you can put on your timeline. But something that I've noticed that I don't know if you do it, and I kind of want your opinion, is having that bride put an early start time on their invitation.
Oh my goodness. Yes,
So-
100%.
Okay, because
Yeah.
some people, I've had weddings where they say 4:00, and that's when she's like walking down the aisle. It's 4:00.
Yes.
People aren't sitting there. People are always late, especially here in Southern California.
Totally.
Traffic is terrible. So you
Yes.
recommend putting 20
I
minutes,
always
30 minutes?
I always recommend 30 minutes before your
30
actual
minutes.
ceremony start time. So
Okay.
put that on your invitation. Let all of your guests know. Of course, let your vendors know too, so that they can
True.
be prepared, because sometimes there are even early guests, which is also stressful. Like they're
Always
seeing you
on that
set up.
timeline,
Yeah.
yep.
So
Mhm.
just I would definitely put 30 minutes before the actual start time,
Okay.
and everyone should hopefully arrive on time. Yeah.
And usually with DJs as vendors, you guys are there early setting up anyways, just in case
Mhm.
something were to go wrong.
Oh,
So,
yeah. We usually show up at least 2 hours prior.
so that 30 minutes before, if you have guests coming even 45 minutes before the ceremony actually starts, you guys are already prepared for background
and when you-
music and
Right, exactly. So when you tell them to start a half hour early, for example,
Mhm.
if the ceremony is set to begin at 4:30, then you would have the invitation time at
Say
4 o'clock.
Mhm.
Right. And that's when I usually start playing some pre-ceremony
Right.
music anyway. So it makes sense as guests are filtering in.
yeah.
You know, you've got some music going, they're finding their seats, and then finally you're just waiting for that moment when the bride walks down the aisle. Hopefully everybody shows up
Yeah.
Right.
on time.
Yeah. Well, there are the older folks that always come early.
Yeah,
They're there
right.
45 minutes when if it says 3:30, they're there at 2:45,
Right.
ready to go. And I'm like, we are still taking photos. Go sit down, So you're still going to have the early guests, but they can kind of see the last minute setup and the last minutes of
A
photos.
little bit behind the scenes action.
Yeah, but I always tuck the bride away at least 15, 20 minutes
Mhm.
before invite time. So
Mhm.
that gives her time to relax. And then the guests that are early
Right.
Yeah.
to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So aside from the ceremony, there's a lot of things that take place during a wedding. The first dance, grand entrance. Let's talk about a couple certain wedding traditions
Uh-huh.
that
Wedding
people have different
traditions.
opinions about, specifically the bouquet toss and the garter toss. Now, I
Mhm.
personally like them.
Mhm.
It's part of my job. I like to
cut it
get
out.
all the ladies on the dance floor, the fellas on the dance floor.
Yeah.
When the bride is tossing that bouquet, the groom is tossing the garter. But I've also heard that certain traditions like that make certain people, specifically single people, feel a little uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So what's your take on that, Ione?
I get to know my couples pretty well. So it's like a know your audience type of situation. Like, how many single people are, in your guest count, and what kind of what kind of friends and family do you have? Are we like really more mellow, more chill, or like do we like to turn up? Do we like to party? If there's like not very many single people, I always ask. So I would always like recommend like maybe take it out. You don't want to single anyone out, but it is such a fun tradition for some people. And I do like incorporating it when it's the right crowd for it.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of getting to know your couple, me as a planner, and you knowing your friends, how they are. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard because if, let's say you only have like 3 single friends.
It's like not fun.
and you're
Yeah.
like, all the single ladies come
Yeah.
to the dance floor and you have 3 friends that probably really don't even want to be single,
Yeah.
but they are, and you're
Right.
pulling them on the dance floor
Mhm.
for them to try to catch
Totally.
this bouquet toss. I
Yeah.
get that. But if you make it like a whole thing where you're like, everyone
Yeah, I
come
would
on the
say
dance
that.
floor and it's a fun time, whether you have a boyfriend or whether you're married, just like come together.
All the ladies.
If they want to party
Yeah.
and like that's the crowd, totally do it.
You know, you bring
Yeah.
up a good point too, because I've had weddings where the bride told me there's not a lot of single people there. She doesn't have a
Yeah.
lot of single friends. So she said, bring up all the girls
Yeah.
to the dance floor.
Yeah.
Whether they're married or single, or it's complicated, whatever the situation
Whatever
is.
it is.
They're
just
the
come
ones
up
in the
on the dance
front.
floor. Right.
Right.
Just come up on the dance floor,
Yeah.
and catch a bouquet. And then you
Right.
make it more
Yeah.
fun. You have everybody included.
Uh-huh.
But then that's going to the guests. Now, I also think that depends on the bride and groom. Like you
It
said, you
does.
kind of have to get to know them. There's certain ones that are very shy, right?
Like the Garter situation.
Especially the Garter
Yes.
situation.
Oh,
And
gosh,
I think you have to
yes.
find the right type of groom for that. I've had grooms that, they'll do the Magic Mike dance
Or like
and just
Totally.
My Pony
straddle
song.
up. Yeah,
uh-huh.
exactly. And just,
Uh-huh.
have fun with it.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They don't
Yeah.
care about people's opinions or views. They just want to
Right.
have fun. And then you got, people who are a little more shy and reserved that are just like, that's not really
Yeah.
my thing.
You don't want to make anyone feel like that
uncomfortable.
on their wedding day,
Right.
especially. So yeah.
Especially in front of their family.
Yes.
Is there times where people, like for the groom's point of view, where he doesn't do the whole thing, but he'll just throw it? Like where he doesn't do the whole show?
Do they? I've
I
always
haven't
had it
seen
where
that.
they.
I've always had both where they remove it.
Right.
I mean,
Sometimes it's like yes or no. Like I feel like there's no 50-50.
Yeah.
They're like, I just don't want to do
Yeah.
it because I'm
I've had
uncomfortable.
a couple,
but-
they attached like some money to the bouquet and to the garter.
Okay.
So it's kind of like more of an incentive.
Oh,
Wait,
I
that's
see.
fun.
Yeah, it
And
makes
you
it
have
more.
to get
I
people on
mean,
the
yeah,
dance
your
floor.
guests are kind of more like, oh, I want to participate. So
Rather
Okay.
than
Just-
I'm
yeah.
single, I got to catch this,
right, yeah,
flower bouquet.
Uh-huh.
I have $10 out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
a little
Starbucks
more.
gift card or something. out of it.
Amazon gift card, Starbucks gift card.
Okay, I really like that idea.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning so much just from other wedding planners.
Right.
I'm like, here's my notes.
So incorporate a little gift with the garter or bouquet toss. That way you give them
You
more of an
could.
incentive to come up and
Exactly.
catch it.
Yeah.
That makes my job easier.
Yeah.
You're like, guys,
Everyone's already on the dance
somebody's
floor.
gonna get a cash prize if you catch this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm just here to play the song.
Yeah.
You know?
I personally like it, but again, everybody's different. So
Yep,
I think it just
everybody's
depends on the
different.
couple and their guests. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Totally.
Let's talk about some other ways to make the wedding fun. Now,
Yes.
one of the most overlooked things I think personally is the cocktail hour. Everybody puts so much focus on the ceremony.
Yeah.
Making it perfect and beautiful. And then you have the reception. It's like, we're going to have a party and just turn up. And then you kind of just forget
There's a
the
lull.
cocktail hour. Yeah, it's like the middle child,
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Literally.
I mean, it
It
really
is.
is the middle child.
It is the middle child. It's like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's also a time when that guests look forward to,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, the ceremony has concluded and now we can just kick back, have some appetizers, some drinks,
Totally.
right?
And most of the time, it's the first time they're getting that drink, so
Yeah.
they're stoked
It's their
for
first
it.
drink.
Excited
It's their
for
first
it.
drink.
drink
Yeah.
of the
If
day.
they don't have like pre-drinks, which
Unless
is
they
like not
pregame.
really common, unless
Yeah.
they pregame.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Which is common.
Which is common,
Which
too.
is
Like,
common.
what are you guys drunk? It is 3 p.m.
But for most people, it's the first drink of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, what are some ways that you can make cocktail hour a little more entertaining, a little more exciting for your
Ooh,
guests?
Love this question.
This is a really great question.
Yeah.
I personally love live entertainment or like musicians, especially ones that kind of like walk around.
Yeah.
I know a few musicians who like play guitar, kind of go up to people, sing to them, serenade them. Um, of course, having like some type of display of champagne or,
True.
you know,
Making something visual
Yeah,
for people to look
visual.
at, or like let's
Yeah.
say you don't have like the best venue and you don't have
Mhm.
views already, giving
Mhm.
them some decorations or like a seating
Definitely,
chart or something
yes.
to like
Yeah.
do when they're there.
Yep.
Totally. Or pictures of the bride and groom.
Pictures of the bride and
Yeah.
groom, even like some fun facts around, you know,
Wait,
the cocktail
cute.
space.
Okay.
And then maybe like the DJ could incorporate like some type of game, asking questions, and if people like kind of actually go around and look at things, then
Yeah.
I don't know. So stuff like that, and also if you can have the photo booth open. I know that's not always an option because
Oh.
sometimes cocktail hour space is not in the same area, but
Right.
photo
True.
booth being open is a good one. Another really, really cute idea that we've done before is like having kind of picnic basket situations where it just depends on the vibe of your wedding too, where your guests can kind of make a picnic area, like lay out a
Cute.
Really?
blanket or like
So
have
there's
yeah.
so many things that
so
you can
many
do.
things you can do. Yeah.
So they can literally have a picnic during
They
cocktail
can
hour.
make a picnic,
How
like
cute
a
is
bunch
that?
of different like piles of blankets here, baskets there.
Yeah.
Make
You're
your own picnic.
sitting with your drink, just
Yeah.
like chilling for that
Yeah.
hour. Because usually
Mhm.
cocktail
Yeah.
hour is about 1 hour
Right.
on average.
Mhm.
And that kind of gives time for the bride and groom to take some
Yeah.
photos.
But yeah, you know, it depends on, of course, like what venue you're at, and
True.
maybe some people don't want to sit down on the floor, but you know,
True.
if it's more of like a casual setup or like at a beach or in the desert, like that's a really cool fun
Yeah.
idea.
Has there been like an event that you've seen that's been your favorite part of cocktail hour? Like you're like, oh, I really like that. I'm going to tell my future clients that.
Yeah, I mean, we had that once at a beach, which was really
Beaches
special.
are fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beaches are special and
Yeah.
fun. I personally love like outdoor venues.
Me
And
too.
we have such great weather here. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. In
If
Southern
you're in
California.
Southern California and if your reception's inside, at
Mhm.
least try to make ceremony or
Yeah.
cocktail hour. One
Outside.
of
Yeah.
the two outside.
yeah,
I mean,
It's a must.
if it's raining, then no. But
Yeah.
but we only
Yeah.
get so much rain here.
right.
You know? Yeah.
I love those ideas. I like the picnic idea. I have
Mhm.
yet to see that, although it
Mhm.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a big growing thing nowadays. I see a lot more
It-
picnics
oh my
happening.
gosh.
became so popular after
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
COVID.
the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah. it
2020
really did.
picnic companies
Yeah.
in general just like
I
went
know.
Skyrocketed.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I really love that.
picnics, games, maybe like some cornhole or
Games, lawn
something.
games,
Yes, that's what I was gonna
definitely.
say.
Yeah.
Because we have like a harbor set up for our wedding.
Oh
and
my
so we
gosh,
have our
yes.
ceremony on sand. Because
Mhm.
I've always like wanted like a beach wedding, but not
Yeah.
really because you really don't want the sand everywhere. But I was like, you know what? I'm at this venue. It kind of gives me, I have the water, the boats, the dock, the
Mhm.
sand. I have it all. I'm going to incorporate it all.
Yeah.
If I'm paying for this, I'm going to incorporate it all.
Yes.
But I love the picnic idea because people would actually sit on the sand because
Yeah.
it's like kind of comfy.
Mhm.
But then cornhole,
Cornhole.
Mhm.
Jenga.
Mhm.
Opening up the photo booth a little bit early
little
too
bit
gives
early.
people
Cocktail.
something to do.
Yes.
I love the idea about the facts on like just like throughout, or
Yeah.
maybe on like a picture of them. You add a
Exactly.
fact at the
Mhm.
bottom so that gives something for them to read
Yeah,
while they're
right.
there drinking or
Mhm.
whatever. And a lot of the times people know each other, so they're just mingling anyways.
Mhm.
But I kind of like where we're going with all these questions. It's like how to perfect your wedding with like
Yeah.
little things you don't think about.
Uh-huh.
Something that's major for me on the back end as a wedding planner is my emergency kit.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's definitely
You
a
have one, right?
must.
It's a
I
must.
I have it in the back of my car
Right
like,
now.
Right now.
Always, always.
Yeah, pretty much always.
So I always like to know what is something in there that you think is unique that I might not personally have that I need
Okay.
to run to Target right now and go get, you know, because these kits are so essential on the
They
day
are.
of. Yeah,
Some essential things.
Yes.
I think are definitely sewing kit,
totally.
Tide pen.
Yes.
Do you have a
time
Tide
to go.
pen?
I have a couple.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause-
because they always get lost. but
Yes,
yeah.
they do. They're a hot commodity.
Yes.
Right? Anything like hygiene related, hairbrush, bobby pins for sure.
Yeah.
Anything fastener related, like or floral related things like.
So that's what I need to get more of.
Mhm.
Floral tape.
just floral tape and pins, and you'll be good.
And like pipe cleaners, right?
Pipe
Like clean pipe
cleaners.
cleaners.
Yes.
Just in case something were to happen, you can kind of
Mhm.
like, tie that around.
yeah,
See, that's what I need to go to Target and get.
some pipe cleaners, some wire.
Yeah.
another like random things that I've added, like after, doing a few weddings, I'm like, okay, I need to have this, like extra envelopes or like nice
Oh,
pens.
that's smart.
Really like nice pens because sometimes people forget to put pens out.
Mhm.
And
And what are the envelopes for people that
for
might not
people
know?
that might forget to bring envelopes, I don't know why. I have a lot of
Like
guests.
vendor tips, maybe?
Vendor tips, yes.
I was just at a wedding where they put a stack of envelopes at their card table right
Yeah.
next to their card box to get extra cash.
Mhm.
And I loved that idea. And I
Mhm.
was like, because people aren't just going to throw cash in a card box,
Yeah.
but if you have an envelope, it might give them more of
Yeah.
like, oh,
put
I'll
it
give
in
them
an
20
envelope.
bucks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Give me some
Yeah.
extra money there. But yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say a bride really doesn't have a day of coordinator, which I do
Mhm.
always recommend a day of. It helps the stress.
Yeah.
But let's say they're just using their venues coordinator, which is fine because some come with really great ones.
Mhm.
What are some tips that you tell them to bring for their day of emergency? Because that's a little bit different
Yeah.
than a wedding planner's day of emergency
Definitely.
kit.
Yeah. Ours is super decked out, but I think
It's huge.
yeah,
It's like a
it's so
scrapbooking
massive.
thing.
I would definitely say to bring bobby pins,
Okay.
hair spray, touch-up makeup,
Okay.
like a pair of flats or shoes, like
That's
flat
a smart one.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sandals.
Your heels are great, but you're going to get tired.
Yeah. And then like you want to dance at the end of the night. I
Yeah.
mean, and just what else? Oh, I also keep like an extra garter in my emergency kit. I don't know if you do too, but I
Wow,
have
no.
brides forget to put on their garter all the time.
And so you have one
I
for them to
have
put
an
on.
extra garter in mine.
Adding to my target list
Yeah.
right there. That's super smart because
Yeah.
they have so much going on in their brains anyways the day
Yeah.
of. That's going to be the last thing that they're
Mhm.
going to remember to bring.
to put it on.
Or they're going to tell their
Yeah.
fiancés to bring it and then
Right.
they're going to forget because
Uh-huh.
they're pre-gaming with their boys, you
Right.
know?
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah.
Good ideas, good tips.
Yeah.
Always have an emergency kit handy or a wedding planner with an emergency kit handy.
They come with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
usually come with them.
Yeah.
So you're all set there, nothing to worry about. But Ione, what's interesting is I learned you're more than just a wedding planner. When we worked that wedding together, Rancho Los Lomas, I was walking in and I see you putting together floral on for the ceremony.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is she doing up there?
It's on a ladder.
Yeah, she's on a ladder putting
like,
together florals.
Actually putting together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was up there like putting together all the floral for the ceremony.
Wow.
So that's when I discovered that you're more than a wedding planner. You're a designer as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So
That's
I am
amazing,
also
first
a
of
floral
all.
Yeah, she's a jack
designer.
of all trades, by the way.
Oh,
So I actually started off as a floral designer
okay.
and incorporated planning back into my company after doing a few weddings. So I did intern as an event planner in my early 20s. But when I started my company, it was initially as a floral designer. And I found myself kind of missing that, aspect of planning, being a part of the process. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, I was there setting up and it just kind of made me like, oh, I kind of miss like incorporating planning, putting together all the other details. I'm here all day anyways,
Right.
So it's,
You
I
just
mean,
come earlier
you
than
come a little bit earlier.
Oh my gosh.
And you definitely need a really good support system and team to be able to do both floral and planning
Totally.
because you can't really be in two places at once.
You want
So
to be, but you
you
can't.
want to be, but you
Mhm.
cannot. So as far as floral, I'm very hands-on with all of the design. And on the day of, I usually pass the baton off to one of my main girls. She takes over the design aspect. I do final touches.
Mhm.
And then I put on my planner hat.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So your first hat was
Mhm.
actually your floral
Yes.
design.
Mhm.
And then you incorporated wedding planning into it. Because you're
Yes.
there anyways, like you said.
Yeah, and it's nice also for our clients that are kind of looking for an all-inclusive experience, maybe just talking to, it's one less vendor, right?
One less vendor.
And those are two
Yeah.
big vendors for, I
Mhm.
mean, in my opinion, like
Yeah.
floral design.
Obviously DJ.
DJ too,
Come on.
yes.
No
of
need to say
course.
it. We know.
No, I agree. And it's kind of
Mhm.
nice too when you do all these like meetings with your clients.
Yeah.
Because then now you can just do the floral mock up with
Yeah,
them. And like
exactly.
you as a planner don't have to like tell the florist, oh no, this is what they were thinking. Because you
Mhm.
already knew because you're
Mhm.
doing their whole design
Yeah.
board, their whole mood board.
We work on them with mood boards. So because we plan and we do floral, like
Yeah.
we do kind of like a really nice overall mood board. And it's just, I feel like they develop like more of a trust and a comfort level when it's just kind of one person they're talking to
Right.
for
Right.
top to bottom their whole.
We actually have a
shebang.
video of some of your work. If we can play that clip real quick, because you have some beautiful, beautiful work here.
Yes,
This is your team.
that's my team, and yeah, everything in this video is designed by us.
It's beautiful. Look at those white flowers.
Oh, a dream. So you created all of these.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that is
every
literally my
piece.
dream right there.
All
Gorgeous.
us.
How do you find these different variations of colors? And just put them together?
I know.
It's her secret.
Look at that.
Yeah. That one actually, the one on the beach, we traveled to Catalina Island and we had flowers in our suitcases.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Quite a few suitcases, I imagine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's the ladder.
Look at that.
Always on the ladders.
So it's clear to say you're not afraid of heights.
Yeah, I had to get used to that for sure.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
That's
you've
beautiful.
seen obviously so many different floral arrangements because you've created them
A ton,
yourself.
yeah.
You know what
Uh-huh.
I noticed really recently, actually within the past year, but really common now in 2022?
Mhm.
It's like the dried florals,
Yeah, dried florals.
fake
Mhm.
flowers, which is crazy to me because I didn't even think of that. I've never worked with,
Yeah.
fake flowers. There's people that are buying flowers on Etsy
Yeah.
and that they're literally DIYing
Right.
all of their table decorations, their own bouquets, the boutonnieres, everything.
Yeah.
What is your input on that? Like, do you like that? Obviously, you do real flowers, so I think you
do.
like that more.
I'm more partial to fresh flowers.
Yeah.
And actually, fake flowers and dried flowers are more expensive. But the pro of
Yeah.
that is that you don't have to, if you're doing it yourself, you don't have to wait, a couple days before the wedding. You can do this weeks before
Mhm.
if you can.
Mhm.
With fresh flowers, that's something you have to do 3 days before, 2 days before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's definitely a huge pro of using the fake flowers
Yeah.
or the silk flowers and then the dried. But I am definitely more partial to fresh just because they bring life to the table. They smell
Yeah.
great.
Totally.
And, yeah.
And I feel like the venue really is important in that
Mhm.
too.
You can't just kind of put
Like,
dried flowers everywhere.
everywhere.
for
Sometimes it's
everybody,
going to
yeah.
look a little interesting,
Yeah.
But if you're out in the desert, let's say,
Yeah.
like dried flowers, go for it. But sometimes
Yes,
if you're on the
absolutely.
beach, you want like the life, you want the real
Mhm.
flowers,
Mhm.
That's just my opinion. Both are great.
Yeah, both are great.
But yeah, totally. I've noticed that more recently.
It is definitely more of a trend. And
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about the dried and the silk too is you can keep it,
That's
they
true.
last and they don't die or anything like
Yeah.
that. But
You know what I actually saw on TikTok is that your wedding bouquet, you can
Mhm.
actually preserve that.
yeah,
There's people that save that for
They
you. So they
do.
put it in like almost like a frame or like a shadow
Uh-huh.
box and they like kind of smash it together or they just keep it how it
Huh.
is
yeah,
and they basically dry it up and so
Yeah.
that's something you can keep forever.
totally.
Isn't that
would-
cool?
yeah,
He's
you're-
like
yeah.
shocked.
Cool,
He's
yeah,
like,
I've
If
never
you're
heard of that
if you
before.
want to do that, look into it before wedding day so they can tell you
Yeah.
how to, preserve your bouquet after
Yeah.
wedding day. Like this is how you care for it, and they have you kind of ship it to them.
is it something
yeah.
you do?
I recommend companies to
Yeah.
do it. But
That's
yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah, and
I
it's
just
so
saw that.
cute. Like you can
Right.
hang it on your wall after.
Yeah.
You can just have a piece of your wedding. So
Because you have so many flowers that just like
I
go to waste. You just take
know.
them and they're in your house.
Yeah.
And you're like, here's all these flowers. Everyone gets a free bouquet.
Mhm.
It's
At
your
least-
take home
yeah.
gift. Yeah.
Right.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the night, they're like, everybody take these home.
take these home.
Yeah.
Don't let them,
My aunt, my
Go to
grandma,
waste.
they're going to be
Yeah.
stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're even asking me, like, do you want to take flowers home? I was like,
Oh,
sure.
seriously?
Why not?
These will look great. Yeah.
Well, there is a number of ways to make your wedding beautiful. The flowers obviously are one way.
Mhm.
But let's say, for example, you're on a budget wedding. You don't have the luxury to do a 5-star resort like the Ritz-Carlton or even a beautiful venue like the Rancho Las Lomas, for
Mhm,
example.
mhm.
So let's say you're on a tighter budget. What are some ways that you can still take an average venue and just elevate it just a little bit? Maybe
Yeah.
not quite a 5-star, but maybe a 4-star,
Yeah.
but just make it look fabulous.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any hacks for them, for anybody out there who can take just an average venue and make it look marvelous.
Yeah.
I like all your words. Fabulous,
I know.
marvelous.
Yeah.
Well,
Great
we are
keywords.
amongst a planner right now and a designer, so I have to use the right vocabulary right now.
Definitely. I mean, I might be biased, but flowers will dress up the space the most, in my opinion. Second to that, I'm a huge fan of candles.
Yes.
Love candles. They really kind of set the mood, set the ambiance. And I think what kind of makes things nice is kind of having like all the elements in front of you. So I love floating candles where it incorporates like water, fire. You have your element of earth, I guess, with flowers.
Right.
So I
Has
mean,
all
that
of
just
it.
kind of makes things feel nice and comfy and beautiful. And another way to kind of dress up a space is just draping, I think, just covering the walls. Maybe if you only have enough of a budget to do one wall, just do that sweetheart table wall or king's table wall. And definitely go with like floor length linens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that really dresses up a space. So upgrading your chairs too.
There's so much you can do with the ballroom too.
Yeah,
but I
there's a
do have to
lot,
say those chairs, like sometimes the venues
The
don't come with the
banquet-
cutest banquet chairs. So having, $5, $6 a chair per person, it's worth it if you're not going to spend so much on your venue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're
Right.
not going to spend top dollar on your venue, maybe spend a little more on rentals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go a little bit extra on your rentals. Maybe you can get some cool like farm tables or
Totally.
linenless tables. Those are really, really nice. And
Totally.
yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can do,
There's
basically.
a lot of things you can do to
Yeah.
dress up your venue. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Yeah.
True.
That's why I get a wedding planner
Yeah.
who also does design and florals, and she can help you out.
One other example is lighting. As a DJ,
Mhm.
I've taken some random ballrooms, and when you add lighting
Oh my
and
gosh.
people just walk in there for the first time, it really just transforms the atmosphere.
Absolutely, yes.
So I feel like you can take something that looks average, and if you just put the right amount of uplights or lighting in general, my
Lighting.
goodness, you can really transform the place.
Lighting is everything too. Like I know for photography too, and just it's kind of what you see and sets the tone. Just how everything is
Yeah,
lit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's everybody's first impression. You walk in there for the first time, you've got the beautiful decor, you've got beautiful rentals, lighting. I mean, at that point, they don't care if, you're at, I don't know, Hotel 8 or something.
Yeah.
You're just like, you
Hotel
walk
8,
in,
Hotel 6.
Hotel 6, whatever.
I don't want to call anybody out, but
Whatever you
want to
call it.
is
You
If
get
you
what
go
I'm
to
saying.
Hotel 6, it's fine, but you can do anything with that ballroom.
Yeah.
Hotel
Right.
8.
I mean,
Yeah.
the way you make it look, I think, is really the most important thing. And you can take an average ballroom and just transform it into something else.
Yeah. Or you can have an open bar and give everyone a lot
Get
of
everyone
drinks.
drunk
Yeah.
and they won't even
They're
know.
like,
Forget all
"This
about
is
it."
great."
Open bar,
Yeah,
forget everything
yeah.
else. Just have the
That's
open
just-
bar.
We don't even
Splurge
know
on
where
your
we
bar.
are.
Yeah.
Just get the hard stuff.
Oh
Your
my
guests will be
gosh.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hard stuff and drinks, it's customary for a guest to always make the toast on
Yes.
Rewired Radio.
Oh,
So
yes.
if you could please do the honors and bless us with a toast.
Oh, okay. Well, cheers to vendors who become frienders.
Yes.
That's your favorite word, Drew.
Cheers to
Yes,
that. I love that.
Yes, seriously.
Shout out to all our frienders out there.
Cheers.
We love that.
Speaking of which, I've got to ask. I'm sure you've done plenty of events in your day, weddings, amongst other things.
Uh-huh.
But Coral knows here what I'm about to ask. But
She's already shaking her
I
head.
have to ask, what is the wildest thing you've seen at one of your events?
Oh my gosh.
Literally every single
Yeah.
time.
No, there's always
It's a
something
good
every
question.
time.
I'm hard on him. It's a really good question.
We are in the entertainment industry as well. It is hospitality, but it's entertainment. So we see a lot of wild things.
We
So
do.
I have to see, what is something you've
know.
experienced in the past?
And this is it's hard to say because I don't want to call anybody out and be like,
You don't want to call anyone out at the Hotel 8.
at the Hotel 8.
Shout out to the
Same
Hotel 8 if you want to sponsor us.
Wherever you are.
The crazy thing is, the most wild thing I guess that I've seen was actually not at a wedding. I put together a gender reveal, and it was probably the most turned up event I had ever done. Like
Really?
including
Oh my
all the weddings I had
gosh.
done. we had the cops show up like 3 times to this
For a
event
gender
for a gender reveal that started at noon. That was in Irvine, California.
Oh no.
The safest city in
And-
California, by the way.
I mean, that's what they say. And we had kind of like trash being thrown into other yards and like
Oh no.
it was pretty intense. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a rowdy
was a
12
rowdy
o'clock
crowd.
It was
gender
a-
reveal.
yeah,
You know, might as well, except for obviously the one giving birth to the baby. She probably wasn't turned up, but
Unless they were too. Maybe they were. Who knows?
Right.
They were, I won't say, but
Jeez, so people are literally tossing trash in backyards. And why did the cops come 3 times?
there was even someone egging someone's house situation during this gender reveal.
My gosh, parents, if those parents are out there, don't bring these people around your kids.
or don't have eggs in your fridge.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of guests
Hide
are you
your
inviting?
eggs.
Hide your eggs and hide your kids. What is going on with people?
Provide water. I don't
Just-
know.
Menace to Irvine right there.
I know.
That was
my
probably
gosh.
so fun for you though, but also
It was-
stressful.
It was pretty
'cause-
hilarious. Yeah, it was. It was something else I'd
Yeah.
never seen before.
Were you trying to keep
so-
people under control, or you're just like, I'm just gonna just let the circus roll on?
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy as a wedding
Definitely.
planner? That's part of your like to do is like sort of keep the drunk
Yeah.
people like
Right.
maintained. And
Mhm.
like, I'm like, it's not really what I'm here
there's
for.
like
Right,
you're
why not
everything as a
security?
wedding planner.
You're
you know?
everything,
You
yeah.
have to be a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Gosh, you need to hire security for people like that. Tell ya.
For a gender reveal.
Yeah,
at
for a gender
noon.
reveal.
Yeah. Yep.
So Ione, it's been awesome having you on. And for anyone out there, any future newlyweds who want to hire you for a wedding or for another event, where can they reach you?
Ooh, okay. So you can reach me find me on Instagram. My handle is at house.and.company and my website, house-and-company.
There it is, folks. Ione with House. She's the best in the business. Reach out to her for all your wedding and event needs. And if you want some beautiful flowers, look no further. She's the best out there, I'm telling you. So we can't wait to have you back.
Can't wait to be
Yes.
back. This
Thank
is
you
so
for
much
being
fun.
here.
Cheers
It's been
to
a
that.
pleasure. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Until next time.